that President Trump will raise agricultural concerns in upcoming talks, but emphasized the U.S. doesn't want countries to use American products for a competitive edge. He also mentioned that there's a potential balanced landing zone in the trade negotiations, criticizing China's recent rare earth move as totally disproportionate. Greer revealed that he and Besant will meet with Chinese officials in Malaysia to see if there's room to progress. He also confirmed that the meeting between Trump and Xi is still on schedule. Ross Feingold, political analyst, is joining us live from Taipei, Taiwan. Ross, thanks for being with us on NewsX World. What is the latest that you're tracking in U.S.-China relations? How are things as of now? And, is this Xi-Trump meeting still on track?
That's certainly the key question. Is the meeting still on track? I would encourage the audience to assume it's happening, but to keep a cautious outlook up until the moment that they actually shake hands, and not only just shake hands within the setting of the large meeting, but they actually go behind closed doors and have a one-on-one meeting for an hour or 2 hours. That's really the key thing. So at the moment, it looks like they're both going to show up at APEC, but the question still remains, are they going to have a long one-on-one meeting? It seems like they're preparing for one. Now, as far as where things stand with that, the key issues for the United States side are pretty obvious. The United States wants China to resume large purchases of agricultural products, not just soybeans, but that's the one getting a lot of media attention. The United States also wants China to remove these recent restrictions on rare earth exports. So that's going to be a key issue for the United States side in these talks. China, they want the United States to stop putting restrictions on the exports of certain chips, semiconductor chips, as well as the export of chip manufacturing equipment, because without access to those advanced manufacturing equipment, then China has to make that equipment on its own, and that's going to take years and a lot of money. So the key issues for both sides are pretty well known in the trade space. And of course, there are those other issues that always exist in U.S.-China relations. I'm speaking from Taiwan, and for sure, if there's a one-on-one meeting, Xi Jinping will bring up Taiwan as well.
Right, and of course, as far as these talks that the Trade Representative Greer has held, what kind of progress do you believe has happened in those meetings?
The good thing is that they're talking. So from the perspective of can the two sides reach a deal, they have to be talking in order to reach a deal. And one thing we've known from the course of this year after the Trump administration took office, President Trump imposed high tariffs, not just on China, but on most U.S. trading partners. Most times when U.S. and China negotiators have met, and they've met several times in different cities around the world, there seems to be a truce that comes out of those bilateral talks. And both sides say positive things about those talks, and then they typically agree to meet again. So if one is rooting for an agreement to be made, the fact that they're talking at that working level does indicate that there could be an agreement to be reached.
All right, Ross, thank you for joining us with your perspective on that story. Moving on now, the European Parliament has awarded the EU's prestigious Sakharov Human Rights Prize to jailed Georgian journalist and editor Zia Agobeleli and Polish-Belarusian journalist Andrzej Poczobut, describing them as symbols of the struggle for freedom. Agobeleli has become a powerful symbol of press courage and resistance against what the European Union describes as Georgia's slide towards authoritarianism in a country that was once considered a leading candidate for EU membership. Poczobut, meanwhile, was jailed in Belarus for his critical reporting, having refused to flee despite a severe government crackdown that has silenced many dissenting voices and forced opponents into exile. The European Parliament President Roberta Metsola stated that both journalists are unjustly imprisoned on fabricated charges simply for doing their job and for speaking out against injustice.
Following the decision that was taken at today's Conference of Presidents, it is my privilege to announce that the 2025 Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought has been awarded to Andrzej Poczobut from Belarus and Zia Agobeleli from Georgia.
A tragic bus crash in Uganda has claimed the lives of 46 people after a head-on collision between two buses on the Kampala-Gulu highway in Kiriandongo district just after midnight on Wednesday. The initial death toll was reported at 63 but later revised to 46 after some victims were found to be unconscious, not dead. Investigations indicate that the crash occurred as the two buses coming from opposite directions attempted to overtake a lorry and an SUV. President Yoweri Museveni sent his condolences to the victims while campaigning for January's general election near the site of the accident. And on that note, it's time to slip